Hi guys, finally I made it. Sorry I'm not live because I don't have actually any reception here, so I had to record video. It took me a while, so it's been 2 weeks. I think it has been 2 weeks since we actually since I appear on those Facebook live, the weekly live talking about transformation. Well, first we had a 24 or to 30 hours traveling, so, and then with the jet lag, and I came home, so with all my family, seeing all my family settled down, so settling down, so we now settled down. So here it is. This is where I grew up. This is all, where everything started for me. Loving, I spent all my summer here swimming in that fresh lake water, and winter um, sliding down those beautiful slope. A very beautiful place. It's funny how sometimes you forget. When you live in a place, you don't acknowledge its beauty, and that's typical. That's typical us, right? We always looking. We get so caught up into our life and forgot to be in the present, and so we forgot. We forget how beautiful things are. And every time I come home now, I mean, I lived a lot of my life. I went in the States, in the US, I went in now I'm mostly in Australia. So when I come here, I'm like, oh my gosh. And when I was probably in my 20s, I couldn't wait to get out. It's funny how perception hates everything so gross. Now I want to come back. I feel like I have a lot of work to do here, back to the source, back to where I'm from as well. So I'm going to honor that. I'm going to honor who I am, which um, boundary free. So I'm trying to, the plan is to bring more of my work here, more retreats, because look at it. I mean, it would be silly not to. Anyway, so let's talk about, so the last really week that I wanted to talk about for our mind body somatic coaching and our transformation, why transformation work and not work. So that's that today we were going to talk about the actual mental strategy. So we actually talked before, it was kind of almost like a preparation. So all those other tools before that we talked about, so we talked about the fundamental principle, like universal principle that you need to understand to actually even think about transformation. Now we're gonna we talk as well about the all those different the consciousness navigation, how it is important to have a map. The consciousness navigation needs to have a map to know what we need to do. And then we started with the tool, just a refresher to remind you what we talked about. And so now, so we had the movement, we have the breath work, we have the nutrition. Last time we talked about the nutrition and the sensory environment, how important that is to actually balance your yin and yang, and as well to anchor things down. Now we're going to talk about that part of it, which is the actual transformation, how you create that change, that transformation. So it's intention setting, of course, and you might have things, there's many theory out there, and like I said, I never invent anything. I put in practice most of things that knowledge that we have there. So it's about creating a clear intention. If you think about it, our vibration and what we vibrate, what we our energy, our vibe, it's an electromagnetic. We all have an magnetic signature that will influence our environment and be influenced by our environment as well. So it's a constant exchange of energy, right? So to transform, you need to think in that way, is that you need to transform that magnetic signature, that vibration, what you radiating, so you can actually create, manifest more things that it's towards that. If you radiating a low consciousness, if you radiating guilt, envy, all those things, whatever you're radiating, because it's an energy, by now you probably understand it, you just going to attract things. So to really manifest that intention, you need to create something, an intention that is that have a new electromagnetic signature. So usually you find an intention, so a positive information, what you want to transform, what you want to change. You can create a nice picture of that. You can actually see yourself manifesting that intention. You have a picture that you really create in your head, so through thoughts, that's the electricity side of it. This picture needs to be detailed, very, make it very real. And then from that, with that picture, you need that electromagnetic, so you need that magnetism that will actually help you manifest this. And so to do that, you need to actually install, bring an elevated emotions, an emotion that is very powerful. So you can use, doesn't matter which emotion, so you can use love, you can use peace, you can use joy, gratitude, all those elevated emotions, and you binding those two, right? You creating that picture and that elevated, so you create a new electromagnetic pretty much signature. So this is quite, and of course when you have that picture, till that transformation is happening, so you can, it's really important to, so sometimes, and I think this is where transformation gets hard, is to pinpoint what do we want. And this is why in that my method, we're working a lot with consciousness level, so the consciousness and the warrior path. So you can have guidance in that respect. So you can create a clear intention with that. For example, you can pick the courage, and then you're working with the elevated emotion of empowerment. So you can just work like this, which it's kind of help you, because you realize that all those little things that we want, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, like what we want in our life, it's never just that. It's always bigger. To be able to transform and sustain, you need to have that bigger understanding, or what do you need to actually get to that. Those are only consequences. They're only, should I say, it seems for us the main thing we want, right? But most of the time it's just little things that actually consequence of things that they're little on a big picture. You need to actually think big picture. When you start creating, manifesting, when you start to work to try to create, you want to see big picture. You working with a quantum field. You're working with that energy. You're working with that universal energy. So you want to think bigger. Those three-dimensional things that we have, it's just nothing. So when I come to transformation, you need to see the bigger picture. And I think that's why sometimes we get lost, is we only thinking those tiny little things that we want, like materialistic or everything. But most of the time, if we actually looking at that big picture and we create that big things where we try to manifest, a bigger thing, like a more on a consciousness level, then everything else in that three-dimensional world, we slowly fall back and just settle. So this is really important. Create a clear picture of what you want to create, and understand and try to really dig deep, and do a lot of research and everything. So not research, like inner research, should I say, where, okay, what really I need. Just dig deeper than, I want to lose weight, or I want to be, I don't know, I want to have money, I want to succeed. Just go deeper than that. Just find things that are deep, and then from there create that picture. And I think that is the hardest part, to actually know with your heart, deepest part, what you want. Now, and that's come with what I say, as I'm going to talk about next, is that you cannot, and that's where a lot of coaching just stop here. They talk about positive affirmation, keep positive affirmation and everything, which I all agree to that. The only thing is that if you in chaos, if you actually in chaos, and you actually try to bring those clear intention, those intention when you have no space, when you're either in a past or in a future, this will never happen. Remember, one of our basic principle was the only power you have is in your present moment, in a now. So you need to be in a space of the presence. You need to be in a space where there's nothing. And this, believe it or not, even in a city where you have all things around you, you can reach that space by going within. So when you try to do that work, it's not about I'm completely stressed here, or I'm going to right away accept my brain and say, okay, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. I'm not saying that's good to say that, but you need to really feel it. So first you need to reach that inner space. So learn to bring yourself inside through meditation, through movement, through breath work. That's the tool. That's the process of my method, is that you need to do this to be able to find that space of nothing, that inner space. That inner space is always there. There's a lot of fluff on the top, there's a lot of turbulence on the top, but that is just on the surface. You need to feel all those things, and you need to dive deep in, so you can actually find that space. And in that space, that's when you can start bringing that picture, bringing that intention, creating change. When you're in that space, you're focusing on that picture, you're visualizing that picture, you're visualizing all that, like combining that clear intention with that elevated emotion. And as you're doing this, as you're visualizing all that in that space, then the vibrations start invading your entire being. It's usually start with the brain, it start with your mental space. So you slowly, while you're visualizing that, you have really strong affirmations coming through, affirmation that will reflect that clear intention and that elevated emotion. Then as those thoughts getting louder and louder, and they're becoming mantra, they're the affirmation you want to focus on in that space. That's where those affirmations will work. And then we have those, it will invade your heart. So you will feel suddenly your heart opens with those new feeling and vibration, those that are pure reflection of that clear intention and that elevated emotion. And then finally you will feel the transformation within your cell, within your body. You're going to find the change and feel the changing in your body, more space, more flexibility, more strength. And that's how it starts the opposite way. So you need to go down, you need to go within to create, to find that space. And again, you're going to tell, oh, I can't do that, forget it, I can't just meditate. Everybody can meditate. Meditation is not about blanking your mind. It's about acknowledging everything, so eventually you reach that space. It takes time. There is someday you're gonna lay down and you're gonna try, and it's not gonna really happen. So be it. At least you have it's like, people spend hours at the gym to build a muscle, to build endurance, to build, like, if you want to run and do things, it takes you, like, you spend hours and hours. It's the same thing for our work, and it's the most important work that we're doing. It's growth. It's you just getting to know, becoming a warrior, a life warrior, so everything you can manifest. And this is what manifestation is. It's not like, you have to understand this. You can't manifest in chaos. You can't manifest, you have to lift yourself up into that place of nothing to be able to create in that. You can't stay in the chaos here and be like this and say, oh yeah, I'm going to create that just by saying that every morning. There's a way to do it. You can do that, but by centering, reaching that space, that inner space, and doing it in that inner space in a full presence. And then the process is always the same for any intention. Whatever you want to create, if you have like a transformation goal, I like to, as a mind body coach in my method, I like to work with those level of consciousness of the warrior path because they're general, and you find it like depending where you are at on that consciousness level, or whether you're at courage level, then you fluctuate on the the ego oscillation on the ego chart. So that is balancing. You balance yourself. There's yin and yang, and you're bringing yourself so more like in that path, in that warrior path. But if you have, I find it, if you're in a level, like if you actually on a courage level, obviously every domain we're in different, but on a general, like if you look at general and general, I find it, if you access that courage, if you can access that courage, a lot of those little things that you think that you want, always everything's gonna unfold for you. You know what I mean? So that's why I like when I work with clients, I like to work with those level, understanding where they are most of the time, and different level. Obviously, you can split it, different level, different domain of your life. You can work on different thing, different intention. But I find it when you really have that general, and all those little things that you want will actually happen. So that's what I like. You can work on little things, but remember what you're working with. You're working with that thing big, thing that universal energy. You know, like we are part of that universal energy. This is what makes us live every day, the prana, life force, chi. That's what we work in. You're talking about Reiki and stuff like this. I'm sure if you listen to me right now, you probably go you into those healing work. It's the same thing. That's what you're doing. That's what you're working with. So it's the same energy we're working on. We're just connecting. It's always here. We're always connected to it. There's no, it's who we are at pure essence. So we're trying to bring ourselves to our essence to be able to manifest what we're meant to be. And like I said, when you're in that path of warrior path, and I mentioned it before, when you're in that warrior path, you are fully, you are acting at your highest potential, and you're exactly where you're going to be. You have the potential to be exactly where you're supposed to be. So this is how we work. So mental strategy, like all those things, that's the general method, and that's pretty much what we do. Everything, that's what I do in my collective session, like just teaching. We do that. We try to do that at the beginning of session. So every time you move, every time, you can do that. So you have that intention that you want to create. You said that for yourself. You know where you want to move. Then you actually move your body or breathe. And you're going to balance yourself on that ego chart to make sure you have the space to ascend, or the space to actually be at your highest potential. And when you're there, when you balance, your body is really, it's ready to actually welcome those new intention, those new vibration, the new electricity. And every time, for everything, you can do that. And it seems like, oh my gosh, I don't have time. It's the more you practice, the more you set the time to do it, it doesn't take long, honestly. And you can do that. You can actually, a lot of people ask me, I had to be present, had to be spiritual. I don't have time to be. Everything you do, you can be present. Everything you do in this three-dimensional world, you can have that. And that is the work. The work is be able to have that, to be in that space while you're doing, because in that space, that's where you're at your highest potential for any situation. I guarantee there's no doubt to that. It is a fact. If you're in a victim, or if you're more excess yin, if you're unbalanced on that oscillating chart, you block. You are not reacting, responding to the situation. You're in a reaction mode. You're either reacting in the past or the present. You need to bring yourself into that middle, that warrior path, to be able to create new things. And then from there, it's manifestation is let's say, should I say it? Easy. The work before is the hard work is to constantly balance yourself. But when you get it, when you understand it, how it works, and then from anything, then transformation is just transformation. Like I said before, it's part of life, so it shouldn't even be work, but it is work because we forgot what we're doing. We forgot who we are as a being, so we need to remind ourselves that it's just reminder, and it's a work, like, you know, like it's just breath work. Check your breath every day, every different time of the, just check where you're at. Conversation, interaction with other people, relationship, check where you stand in a relationship. In one conversation, you can, from one conversation to another, switch. I see that. I'm one of those that can be really, some people can really switch from one conversation. They will put themselves so much more in the yin excess, and the other conversation will be in the opposite direction, in a fully yang, more narcissistic tendency. But when we're in that space, we're not acting at our best interest. It's only when we have that balance. And again, once again, I'm going to say it again, I said it every time, it's not 50-50. It's always that different situation require more yin or more yang. That's totally normal. This is hard work. But it's you know what you need to do. The only thing that prevents you from knowing is when you live in the past or you're reacting. You need to connect to that inner space, that space of nothing, and from there the manifestation is easy. I love it. I don't want to stop talking because it's such a nice place. I hope I wish I was live. I completely forgot that I can't. I went to do my live and I just like, oh, I can't connect. I might try to do that before I left to leave, to try to get some connection somehow. So at least you can experience this live. That was the best I could do today with what I have. Like I actually try several times. One time I forgot my phone. One time I forgot the microphone. Then another time I forgot the cord. It was not the time. This is perfect now. Yes, I love that space. It's very different. I love Australia. I love where we are too. The ocean, the rainforest. It's just every environment has its beauty, and it brings so much different energy. And you know, it's just amazing what your environment can do to you. Like different environment can just do different things to you being. Like, you know, and the more you get connected, the more you feel, the more you actually. This is living. This is living. You forget everything. You forget all that. Like, you know, you connect to that nature, and it's just amazing. Anyway, that was me. I will post that video. So now I'm going to keep doing a bit of live. I'm going to try to do live again while I'm here. And we'll talk about different things. All the transformation talks, I will put it on my YouTube channel. So I think all of them are already there, but I would launch the whole playlist so you can catch up with that. A lot of things coming in 2026. So I'm still doing yoga teacher training. I'm going to do my mind body somatic training is already fully online if you want to do through my health mastery school. So you can actually jump on my website, and from here you can find the link, and you can have all the detail of the training, and you can actually do it on your own pace. The link you can actually already doing. Start today. Or you can wait for me. I'm going to do a cohort one where we progress together every month. So it's live as well because it's an international training. So it's in English at that stage, but you can, and we're going to connect virtual live every month for practical and for lectures. So if you want that interaction, which I think it's a good idea too, you can do that. If you want to work on your own pace, the quality of the training is the same. There is video for every single demonstration. There is more than 50 video, I think, between breath work, movement. There is all the lecture. I tape all the lecture. It is a very, very thorough course that really bridges science with spirituality. So whether you're more into that science and you want to get a little bit more spiritual, a little bit more alternative, this is for you. If you're already very much into healing, but you want to have a little bit more like concrete, rational tool to help your clients as well, this is for you. So it's a very thorough course. This is what I do every day, and for me it works. Like, I mean, honestly, I've come from far. I've been through a lot of mental health, and this was my savior, and I share it. So for you, it's an amazing journey to take on board if you want to, and if you want to help clients, and sometimes you feel a little bit short with that somatic training is amazing, and it's more than somatic. It's actually there's NLP. There's a lot of movement. It qualify you in all those things. So it's everything in one. A boat must pass. You hear the wave. Oh, the wave. I shouldn't say that. It's not really wave, but it used to be wave for us. We used to be excited when a boat was coming and we were little and we're swimming in the lake and it was like, oh my gosh, it's wave. And then I went to Australia and I'm like, yeah, that's not wave. Anyway, lots of love to you all. I shall see you soon, hopefully live this time.